Happy Wednesday! Are you guys ready for the best show ever? Ever! Welcome to Date Night with Connie and Chrissy. I'm your host, Connie Henriquez, and my crazy co-host, Chrissy Bogue.
That's me, guys.
Dude, how does it feel to be here on a Wednesday night?
I don't like it. I know I don't like it.
What do you mean?
When we go to Miller's, our friends aren't there now.
It's a little different. It's still fun.
Cool. I know, but it's like Cheers. Everybody knows our name when we walk in. They all cheer for us.
It's just a different bunch.
No one's there.
Come on.
I
should have did a quote today about stop complaining.
You did that already once.
I know. I thought you'd get the hint. Come on.
I miss Mike Brooklyn.
Yeah, he was there. He was
there in spirit.
So, dude, all right, so come on. What are we up to? What have we been doing?
Well, we went to go see Elmore, what was it, a week ago or so?
We went to see them.
Our favorite band on Long Island.
Painters. We had a great time. Vicky
love
has
that
the
place.
pictures. It's a group shot. Yeah.
And we actually had them on as a guest last week. They were amazing. I love them.
They did a really great
there we are.
job.
Oh, there. That was when I was starting to lose consciousness.
That
was when I grabbed Natalie up to the front when they were playing. Oh, wait, who's that?
No, not
wait,
yet.
that's JT's.
That's not yet, yeah.
That's not yet, but that's okay. And then we hit up JT's Cafe.
Yes, and JT's Cafe is a new cafe which just opened in Blue Point, New York.
That's right. The owner of JT's, our favorite bar on the water.
Where we hang out during the summer, so we have a cool spot to hang out before summer begins.
That's right. And then we had date night's dad's birthday weekend.
So how crazy is it? I did not realize that both our dad's birthday was this weekend.
Both of our dads are Aries.
Exactly, which that says a lot.
Your dad's was on Sunday?
And yes, on Sunday, and yours was when?
Who's that? My dad was on Monday, the 11th.
Right, so what I love is...
There's you and your dad?
I put the pictures, and our pictures are totally different. So your family's very serious. You have the cake, which is great. That's my dad and I. And then...
There's my dad. Shout out to BB.
There's your family.
He was the 82nd Airborne Paratrooper, so he always has a cake made up.
I saw that, and it said Brian. Why did it say Brian?
Because that's his name, but I call him BB.
Okay. And then there's my family, who's a little bit more crazier with that picture and how we do cakes.
Yes. How many cakes did you get? And there's mine. There's my nephews, my brother-in-law that we're going to have on the show to give the male perspective.
One day.
One of these days.
Exactly. And there's my family shot.
Wow. You have a large family.
We have to do a group family shot.
Wow.
That's just the way we do it.
Me and you have to do one.
We do.
Of just me and you.
Exactly.
It'll just be me and you. And where's Pumpkin tonight?
He's actually here somewhere. He's going to make a guest appearance.
Oh, he's here?
Point. Yeah.
He's here again? I didn't hear him whimpering.
I know. Well, because he's sleeping.
So that was fun. I can't believe our dads both are Aries.
I know, which is so interesting. So we maybe had similar childhood experiences with their parenting styles, huh?
Maybe we could go to therapy together.
Possibly.
Maybe Rob,
similar issues.
Our therapist today, could help us out here with some childhood issues.
No, because Rob is going to help the girls out there and possibly the guys on amazing dating and relationship advice.
He's going to help me. I'm going to be calling him at 2 a.m. Rob, I got this problem. What do I do?
Rob, remember me? Remember me from the other night. So we had our dad's birthdays this weekend.
Yep.
And plus, which I'm really excited, and I just want to give a big shout out.
You went to a charity?
Yeah, we went to a charity. Actually, back in the day, a couple of years ago, actually like 10, I did a Hamptons House with Brandon Cawley, and he actually lost his brother in 9/11. And so every year they do a charity, which is the firefighter fundraiser for Michael Cawley.
Okay.
I got that right. And so it was last Saturday at Mulcahy's.
Oh.
And so we were able to go and kind of celebrate and just give back. And again, Brandon's an awesome guy.
Nice.
I've known him for years, and we did a Hamptons House together. So shout out to the fund, Michael Cawley's firefighter fund.
Was there a band for the
charity? There was New Life Crisis. Do you know them?
No, I never saw them.
Yeah, they're actually really amazing. They're there every year. They're doing a great job.
That was nice.
Yeah, so we had a really interesting weekend. It was actually quite fun.
I know.
And then we're back on Wednesday. Yeah.
And we got the Pink Tie event coming up soon, which I can't wait.
Exactly. So if you're
We never went.
We did not go last year because we had another event.
That's right.
So if you did not get your ticket, go to pinktie.org.
Yeah, you better hurry up.
We'll be there with a bunch of our peeps. And
Big Shot will be performing. I love them, the Billy Joel cover band.
Billy Joel tribute.
Yep.
So it'll be very, very cool.
I can't wait.
It's going to be cool.
All right. Well, maybe my soulmate's there. I'm going to ask Rob.
Maybe. You never know.
Maybe Rob knows. I'm going to ask him.
If you're interested in being her soulmate, show up.
Be wearing pink so I can notice you.
So you stand out.
All right. So what's your
Start Loving Life tip of the day is don't settle for less than you deserve.
I love that.
Damn, right?
That was one of my questions to Rob.
That's interesting.
Thanks for stealing his
He'll
question.
go into more detail, I'm sure, but how interesting is that? How many times people settle for what
a lot of people do that. That's the problem.
They do. And what's interesting is you don't have to. How crazy a concept that is.
But people get impatient with waiting, so they take what's given to them.
They do, but this is what they don't realize. If you put out to the universe what you want, and then you settle for less, then you're saying to the universe, I'm not really clear about what I want, because if I was, I wouldn't be taking what I have now.
That's true.
So if you're going to be clear, which is the best way to be, because clarity is power, you just want to be really clear so the universe can deliver what you want, and that way you can not settle for less than you deserve, because you don't have to.
I love that.
You love it?
I love it.
Now I want to hear about your bestie, because I saw his head to do with flip-flops or something.
No, it has to do with your feet.
Yeah.
When you're getting a pedicure, I love this actually. When you get married, I'm going to get you this.
Thank you.
It's called Dip Into Pretty. So you know how you get those ugly foam separators when you're sitting there?
Yes.
Who wants to look at that and walk around with those things, whatever?
Right.
Well, now this website, I always say this, but I wish I would have thought of this.
Of
I'd be a
course.
millionaire right now. So it's called Dip Into Pretty, and they're pretty little separators for your toes while you're getting a pedicure. You can get flowers, ice cream cones, jewels. They have a whole bridal section. So when you're getting married, I'm going to get you one.
Thank you. So wait, where do you get it from?
Dipintopretty.com.
And then you carry them with you?
Did we show the picture where it shows the packaging that they come in?
Yes.
So they have a whole bridal line, like I said, and they make a great. If you were getting married, I would get this or if I was getting married, I would get it as a bridesmaid gift to my bridesmaids.
Yeah.
You can use it for party favors, or we already showed all of them.
Yep.
Did you see the one with the feet?
Yeah.
All right. Well, whatever.
So
that was very, very quick.
So wait, so you bring it to the nail salon with you?
Yes. You purchase it. It comes in that little package you saw.
Okay.
Purchase whichever ones you want, and then you bring it with you.
How
every time you go to get a
adorable.
pedicure. So then you can look at pretty
Lips on your toes.
lips, you can look at jewels, you can look at
love
ice
it.
cream cone, you can look at flowers.
So when you go like shopping after the nail salon, which I sometimes do in flips, like in the winter.
Right, I always wear those ugly flip-flop things that they give you where your foot's falling
right.
out
And
of
it's
them.
like you're actually walking barefoot,
Yeah.
but you're not.
Right.
So that would be great. So you have these cute little things on your feet. So it looks like you did it on purpose.
Exactly.
I like it.
What a great idea. And what are they like?
Fabulous.
They're like $12.
I love it.
Dipintopretty.com is the website.
We love it.
Isn't it a great idea?
It is. We have to get them.
Why didn't we think of that? We got to think of
Same
something.
reason why we don't think of the same thing you do every week.
Man. I hate researching this stuff and finding these things because then I get pissed. I'm like, oh man, that was
We
so
know.
obvious. Why didn't I think of that? Darn it. Whatever.
We know.
I'll ask Rob what my problem is, why I'm not manifesting what I want.
Why you can't come up with these amazing ideas on
Yeah,
your
Rob,
own.
why am I not coming up with these ideas?
I love it. All right,
I can't wait
cool.
to ask him.
We're going to be back with the amazing Rob Liano, best-selling author, and we're going to be back in a few minutes. So grab your Tito's and fill up.
Well, on a Wednesday, I don't know if anyone's drinking.
Grab
but
your Tito's. Give me
we
a
are.
break.
Cheers.
Blah, blah. You know it's ultimate. Big bad and pole pace, colorful roll with Excalibur. Yo, this is Marlon Greenwood, aka Ultimate, and I want you to watch Date Night every Friday night at 7:30 with Connie and Chrissy. Blah blah. You know it's ultimate.
I love it.
Blah blah. You know.
Dad, where do babies come from?
Well, there's Dad's big, shiny rocket ship. That's right, it's filled with babies of all kinds. And when the shiny rocket ship penetrates, Mommy and Dad goes, and when the time is just right, there's a space launch.
All systems go.
Babies of all kinds. Released all over the place. Yeah, Africa. Mommy's Babylandia. That's right, it's filled with babies. After an amazing 9 months, babies. And that, son, is where babies come from.
But Jake said babies come from.
Planet. Babylandia.
You know, play with us on the bus.
Wheels on the bus
Go round and round, round and round, round and round. Wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town.
Dad, where do babies come from?
Well.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, GMC, in the place to be, the
greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, DMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
If someone
And
sees
we're
it.
back.
We're back with Rob Liano. Now you've been on CNN, ABC, CBS, all the main
Yeah.
networks.
Nice.
I've been published.
Everybody
in,
wants you.
Well, hopefully.
And here you
You're
are
a
now
hot
on date
commodity.
night.
I guess it's perfect fitting for date night. Everyone
Of
wants.
course.
I feel like we're actually on the dating. What's that? The,
The Bachelor.
the Newlywed Show or something.
The
That's
Newlywed
thing with
Show.
everything, you know what I mean?
Like we're
Or the
gonna ask
dating
you-
game. That's it. The dating
Where's your
game.
girlfriend? We're going to start quizzing you and her.
Yes, she's.
Will you give-
She's unable to watch, so it should be fun when she
Why?
watches the replay. She's in school.
Aw. Well, she's here in spirit.
When you were
Absolutely.
on all those channels, CBS, CNN, ABC, were you giving dating advice when you
It
were
was
on?
actually, I was published on their websites from stuff I've
Oh,
written
very
and
cool.
some of my insight, if I may call it that. Yeah, so.
It is
Your
insane.
amazing,
Yeah.
stellar advice. Come on, Rob.
Well,
And
we'll
you're a
see.
best-selling author. What did you write first before we get into our great
I
advice?
co-authored this book with Brian Tracy, who is one
I
of my
love him.
favorite success business
Yeah.
sales gurus.
Okay.
Unfortunately, my picture's on the back.
It is?
Yeah. See if you can spot me.
Oh my God.
We
How am I
got
gonna
you.
Find you
Yeah.
quickly.
I've
I'm
been-
sure you're the most handsome man on here.
Ah, you're so sweet.
That's right. You should be on the cover.
I found him. All right.
There you
I'm
go.
going to face it. So
right.
everyone
And
can-
Forget Brian
it's
Tracy.
basically strategies to have your business explode in a struggling economy. It's still relevant because, you know, the economy isn't where everyone would like you to
Exactly.
believe. But my dad always told me, create your own economy.
Exactly.
So-
I love your dad.
Yeah, yes.
Let's
my,
bring
my
him on
dad
the show.
has a quote in the other book. I used one of his quotes because he's a super positive guy. I guess it rubbed off on me. But the other book is Pick Me Up When You Feel Down. It's over 1,400 motivational quotes.
I love the name of that
For
book.
a day, for a year.
That you
Breakfast,
made
lunch,
up, or
yeah.
it's quotes from.
No, I went through like 6,000 to narrow it down to ones that were uncommon and really made you think and resonated and
I
maybe
love
aha moments and hopefully make you a little uncomfortable.
Great.
So your
Sometimes you
dad,
need those too, you know.
your dad's what influenced you to become a life coach? Would you say? Or?
No, actually, he's the one that influenced me in my sales journey that actually led to life coaching. So yeah, interesting.
But you were brought up in a very positive household.
Yeah, he was my biggest fan, drumming at 15 years old, driving me to gigs. So yeah, it was
Wow.
pretty
Well,
and,
yeah,
and my
bec-
mom also drove me to drum lessons. And
That's what makes it interesting
Yeah.
because you're a life coach, but you're also very musically inclined. So you play the drums, right?
I love music.
yes, I'm the prototypical drummer because I drum up sales and
Nice. I like
segue.
it.
I guess
That was awesome.
That was good.
Yeah,
That
well,
was
I
good.
looked up the definition of drum and I was like, wow, that's pretty funny.
That's great.
And on my baby picture, I have a phone. So
No.
yeah, yeah.
Where can we see you perform before we get into the
Actually,
advice?
I've been taken off a little bit from drumming, and I've been doing a lot of music remixing, production, stuff like that.
Oh,
in
cool.
the home studio, which is really cool.
Oh man, so we
keeps me
can't go out and
connected to
see you
music.
perform.
You possibly this summer, a friend of mine said he might be calling me for some gigs, so I'll let you know.
That's great.
Yeah.
I hope
Date
you'll
night
play.
in the
I hope you'll play a
Yeah, it'll
little
be date
Phil
night,
Collins
yeah.
or
I'll wear
Dave
my
Matthews.
other pink shirt.
Exactly.
I know you look. First of all, you're the best dressed guest we've ever had.
Thank
You
look
get the
ador-
award.
We have very amazing, adorable guests
I
that
know.
show up. But Rob is very adorable.
But Rob's shirt, I mean, what he's wearing, I love it.
Thank you.
So let's just jump right into it.
Of course.
Because I
Yes.
feel like you got a lot of advice to give
And not a lot of time.
and not a lot of time,
Yeah.
and I might be calling you at 2 a.m.
Right, but no booty
when I'm
calls.
teetoed up. No booty calls.
He has a girlfriend.
I'm not
Come
going
on.
to do that. I'm going to.
And I'll tell you, my phone is always on Do Not Disturb the minute
Darn
I go to
it.
bed. Yes.
Wow.
Rob's
Get
do
it
not
anyway.
disturbing me again.
Yeah. I learned that early on, definitely.
All right, well, I'll FB message you.
Yes.
So, how do we attract Mr. and Mrs. Right and keep them?
Okay, so the first part is really interesting, and I could actually reference my current relationship because I
right, good.
literally found the girl of my dreams, and you'll appreciate this. In 2009, I wrote a list because I read some
I
book.
love lists.
Yeah,
I'm the
I read
queen
some
of
book.
lists.
Yeah, and it
She
said
is.
it said literally everything that you want, even if it's something stupid. So I wrote 29 things that nice calves, cool accent.
Calves,
Yeah,
wow.
I'm a leg guy. Well, I'm a butt-in leg guy. Okay. Anyway, not that I don't like the other parts. It's all
Right.
good. But yeah, so I mean, just to give you an example, I wrote down these like some things that would be like almost superficial,
Right.
but I didn't care. It was like every quality. Forgot about it totally. The girl I'm with now is 28 of 29.
That's
What?
amazing.
And I don't remember what the other one is. I have to find it because everyone's like, what's the 29th one? I guess it doesn't matter now. But it was really
I wanna
literally planting the seed and then allowing it to grow. Because Earl Schoaf was another, we were talking earlier about my favorite motivational speaker.
Yes, we were.
He said it's a lack of faith for a farmer to plant a seed, 2 weeks later, dig it up to see if it's growing. Right?
You're right.
So what do? We plant the seed, but we don't let it grow. We always, because we're trying to rush it and we're anxious and we push on things. And this never works out. It blows up in our face. So
That's
this,
very true.
I just tabled it and let it marinate, and all of a sudden I found her. I was like, wow, she's literally like got all these amazing qualities. And I found it when I was changing from one computer to the other, and I was like, oh my God, you have to see this.
So Rob, how did you meet her? Like,
Yeah.
where did you meet her? How did you meet her?
Well, she was actually singing background in a band on my birthday 4 years
Wow.
ago. Yeah, and then I met her probably a month and a half later at another gig, and we stayed friends for a long time.
So you meet her at another gig, and are you just attracted to her at that moment? Do you
No.
go up to her? Do you like? So how does
no,
it?
I met her because I knew the lead singer, so
Okay.
it was just an introduction to the whole band.
Okay.
And I mean, I thought she was beautiful, yeah, but I was like, she was married to that lead singer. So,
Okay.
yeah,
So you're like, oh,
and now what we were talking
scandalous in the audience.
so what we were talking about earlier is that's one of my deal breakers. So I don't go there
Right.
and waste my time.
Right.
Because again, it's not in my focus, and I'm
Right.
It's not on your list.
and I don't bother. Yeah, it's totally cut off. However, we stayed friends, and then she got separated, and we still spoke for a year before we went on our first date and got to know each other.
Wow.
Wow.
Which is huge because you have to get to know people.
of course.
That's
In
true.
this day and age, though, people don't allow time for that, which is one of the big
People don't have-
challenges. Yeah, they want everything right now.
Right.
Drive through dating.
Right. I like that.
Or
Drive-through
drive
dating.
by dating.
Right.
Drive by dating. That doesn't sound
Yeah.
well.
Let's
but it's
supersize it.
both. Hey now, there you go.
Can I
That's
get a
the good one.
shake with that, guys?
So that would be the number one thing is
All right.
is knowing what you want. Because it's funny. I use the analogy of a car. Like when you bought your cars, you probably knew what kind you wanted, whether it was an SUV or
Yep.
a hatchback.
Sure.
Did you know what color you wanted?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I
course.
did.
It was pink, right? No, just
I do want pink. I
Yeah.
always wanted a pink
No,
convertible.
Pink Bentley.
But people put
That's-
that much
that is
effort
what I
into
want.
choosing a car because you're going to drive it. You want to like how it looks.
Right.
Right.
But they don't put that much attention into the details of what they want. They'll just say, I want to meet a nice guy or I want a good woman.
Right.
But what is the definition of that for you?
Right.
Now, Rob, but what
Yeah.
happens though, because people will be clear about what they want, but then they'll continue to date the people that are not what they want and want to make them be the person that they want.
Well, that's because they want to be in a relationship more than they want to be in the right relationship.
So what do you advise those peeps?
How much time do we have? Okay. Well,
You got a half hour.
yeah, I would really say what reflects upon the quote you said is you have to know your self-worth because otherwise you will always settle for less and then you're stuck in this, why am I in this?
Yeah.
And then you stay in it, which is the worst thing ever, and you make the excuses, yeah, but I love him. I'm like, okay, what do you love about him? And they don't really have an answer.
Wow.
But it really comes down to you don't love you.
Right.
Therefore, you can't love someone else, and no one can ever fulfill your value constantly. That's why Facebook's so popular. Everyone's on their immediate attention. Like, I went to the bathroom. Me too. What'd you do? I mean, it's really? Yeah, and you see nonsense like that.
Right.
What I had
No,
for
you
lunch.
do.
Right.
I lost a friend on Facebook because they said, hey, I just got to work. I'm like, well, then you should get to work. And I was like, be unfriended. I'm like, you'd be fired if you work for me. If that's
Right.
the first thing you do is you get to work, log into Facebook. But it's to get that attention.
Yep. They want validation.
Yes, and the only challenge is no one under any circumstances can give you all the attention. I can't. I have a job, I have family,
Right.
but I have enough love to go around. But when people don't feel that they get enough attention, they're going to try and get it any way they can. It's detrimental to a relationship.
How do they work on then loving themselves and filling themselves up so they don't feel like they have to get it from outside?
Well, like,
Sources
a lot
or
of
from
that is
people.
you have to. Here's a good piece of advice: listen to the good things other people say about you. Because I remember thinking, wow, I don't know if I can speak in front of people. I don't know if I'll be a good coach, blah, blah, blah. And I would read my testimonials that I had, and I'd be like, I could totally rock this, man. I've done it already. You know what I mean? Like, even coming here, I'm like, wow, am I going to do all right? I'm like, I can't suck, I guess. I mean, I might not be amazing, but I definitely have insight to share. So it's almost a daily battle of fighting that terrible, stupid, lying voice that says you're not good enough, you
Yeah.
weigh too much, or you weigh too little, you're not tall enough. All that nonsense that gets thrown on you, like you'll never be as good as your brother or sister.
Yep.
And it's all BS, man. It's all other people projecting their crap onto you.
I love that.
And it comes from it'll come from the people closest to you, which is when it affects you the most. But you have to realize that as an adult, you have the power, and I think you deserve to take back your own life and create what you want.
And create what you want.
Yep, we're all creators.
But see, I struggle with that. So say you know what you want, and you're watching The Secret, you're watching all these things, you're following all these people, you're visualizing, you're doing everything, but you're still not getting the results that you want. Why
Okay.
are they not still getting the results that they want?
You either have to change your choices or your actions. Especially if you see it isn't working, because it's like banging your head against the wall. If you start to go, let's say you go out to a bar, you want to meet someone, you start talking, they're a jerk. We've all been there, right? Or it's
Yeah.
like, you start talking to them like, oh my God, it's an empty suit, you know.
An empty
They were
suit.
attractive until they opened their mouth. and that's a
That's true.
challenge. But what you need to do is when you have your list defined of what you want,
Yeah.
you can immediately go, no, they're not for me. And then you don't waste that time anymore because you are willing to be committed and patient to fulfilling you.
Right.
Instead of like feeling like, I always say when people say, you know, I want someone to complete me. I'm like,
Oh my God, we want to kill ourselves with
yeah,
that
I'm like,
quote.
okay, so
Yeah.
you think
the
I
Jerry
want someone?
Maguire?
Yeah, well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, you think I want someone who's incomplete?
Right.
Like I'm gonna complete you? What am I, that puzzle piece? That can't work because you know 1 and 1 wholes make a powerful 2. A piece of one and a piece of another can only make 1-ish and 1.5. So you want to be the powerful force of 2 equal people. But it's never like that. It's this balance of like,
That's true.
yeah, of me trying to get someone to fulfill me or me
Right.
giving too much of myself, not getting stuff in return. You know, reciprocal things. But we don't learn about dating unless by going out and making mistakes. But we never correct the mistakes, which is the funny thing. We'll just keep going out and being like, oh, well, that person, and blame everyone else. But the common denominator in all my dating was me.
Right.
Right? So I was like, maybe I'm responsible. So to continue the answer, how do you get them
I love Rob.
how do you get them to commit is, I'll tell
Oh.
you, I had to become a prince to deserve a princess. Because 20 years ago, I was an idiot. You know what I mean? I wasn't committing. You know,
Yes.
I was after maybe one thing instead of the right thing, you know. And then I realized
most
if I
men
want
are.
this person who I defined, I need to deserve that.
So do
And
you,
I didn't at the time.
And it
You-
goes both ways.
do you feel like so you're saying 10 years ago or whatever, you were an idiot. You were just looking for whatever to hook up?
Well,
So
yeah,
does
you know,
does it come,
it was
does
all
it come
about me.
down to just you being ready to commit? Like, what makes a guy want to commit?
I think there's ready, willing, and having experience and knowledge in what matters in a relationship. Because again, we're taught by these terrible examples.
Right.
You know, parents who fight,
Yeah.
you know, couples who yell at each other, and it's accepted as normal, but it's so far from normal. 2 years in June, I'm dating my girlfriend. We have not had one argument.
Oh, right. You were just telling me that
everything is a
before the show.
discussion, and
That's
You know,
crazy.
I give, she gives, and we
I love that.
compromise. And I mean, it's amazing, but it's the way it's
That's
what I
the way it
envision.
should be.
Yeah, people will argue, "Oh, a good fight is good." I'm like, in what universe does that make sense? I'm like, a good
What universe are you living
Because
in?
they can have makeup sex. I'm like, well, that means your regular sex isn't good. I mean, what-
Hey,
like,
that's
is
a
that
good
what
point.
you need? I mean, really, that's what you need to fuel.
Right.
There's something wrong in that mentality. But again, it's like we just get into it and it becomes a habit. Yeah.
So what if somebody keeps picking the same type of relationship over and over again? And
That's common.
that is common.
I have a couple of friends that do that, and I'll just listen and be like, I heard this story 5 times in the last year.
Now at that point,
And they
do you-
keep
do you love-
attracting the same type of person, but they don't know why they keep attracting the same
It's
type
not
of
a matter of attracting them. It's a matter of why are you keeping them in your life longer than like a day. If
Right.
you allow somebody to
was good.
disrespect you, you're giving them permission to keep disrespecting you.
So when it's your friend, are you honest? Or are you like, oh, I don't know what's going
Oh,
on?
he
I don't know what's
he
going
will
on.
actually say, you know, you're the most bluntly honest person in my life. 'Cause
But
people
So
that's
just-
you'll
good.
say, obviously, hello. You'll be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
There's no
You
other
have
way to
to
be
be.
because it's if someone says, "Hey, good for you, hang in there," and allows you to fail, I don't think they really care much about you.
So now are they still friends with you after you're bluntly honest?
Yes, this one.
Like,
What?
Some no, listen, and
You
it's all
keep
it's all
dating
good.
losers, what
because
can I
if
tell
someone
ya?
isn't on that level of growth oriented and open, you know, I one of my quotes that's I don't know if it's in that book, but it's definitely on the internet is don't ask for directions if you're not going to start the car. Because a lot of people ask advice and then they don't do it.
Right, that's
So
very good. I
that's
like
part of
that.
it's great to read all these books but nothing's effective like The Secret.
Yep.
You can envision it, but if you don't act and progress towards it and redirect, you're going to be in the same spot.
Right, you were saying the missing ingredient in The Secret was action.
Yeah, action.
They left that out.
You can't just think
They
about
left
it.
that out.
Well, it's funny because I'm actually working on a blog that says, let's see, if it's meant to be, it will be, and other terrible advice. Because it's not meant to be that you fail. It's not meant to be that you're upset.
Right.
But people say, oh, if it's meant to be, it will be. Bull. Then everyone would be happy and have the car they want, the relationship, the career, the house.
Right,
Because that should be meant to be, right?
right.
So why are some getting it and some not? It's not
Right.
meant to be. It's willed to be, and you need to act upon it. But people will take that as, oh, yeah, okay, I feel better about my failure because, yeah, if it's meant to be, what happened? Oh, well. No, it's crap. I mean, why? That's not inspiring to me.
Right.
What's inspiring to me is, yeah, it happened because, what's the quote? Good things come to those who wait, but more comes to those who work their butt off.
I like that.
Yeah,
I mean, you're right.
yeah, because it's a combination of things. And again, knowledge is only powerful when it's applied. So
I mean, in The
think-
Secret, they said believe, envision it, imagine it, and then believe that it will happen and expect that it will happen.
Sit on the couch.
And then it should
And
happen.
Sit on the couch and wait.
Yeah,
right, how
just
many people can we
visualize.
get in here that say, yeah, I totally believe I'm going to have it and it hasn't happened yet. And it never
Correct.
happens.
Right.
So that's not the full extent. That's why it was great marketing, but
Yeah.
Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret, I feel, is better.
Yeah,
Think and
I
Grow
watched
Rich
that, yep.
from Napoleon Hill
Yep,
is better, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, it's great, but it's only a component.
yep. They left the key
Yeah.
ingredient out.
And Bob Proctor's
Yes.
awesome.
I
So,
love
yeah,
Bob
not
Proctor.
dissing
I
anyone.
watch a lot of him.
Yeah.
About the paradigm shift. I love it.
Yes.
So, hold on. Back to my question, though, because we didn't answer the rest of it.
I
No,
like-
Rob
like-
didn't
I
give
like
the answer
sushi.
that you
I
wanted
like
to hear.
sushi.
Because, go ahead, Rob, what?
I was going to say I like sushi. Because you're-
I never ate sushi, so I don't know.
okay.
She
I
doesn't
don't
like,
eat fish.
She doesn't like seafood. It's a
Sorry,
problem
Rob.
in our relationship. Yes, it is.
Is it?
It is.
You never mentioned that you wanted to eat it when we're out.
Sushi.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's
You have
because you won't have
Giselle.
it.
She has her boyfriend. I have nobody. So anyway. All right, so somebody who keeps getting disappointed over and over, they start to question their own self-worth. They're getting, they're feeling there's something wrong with them, that they keep going into relationships, that they keep ending abruptly.
Okay, so
How do we not get disappointed and
sometimes
keep
there is
trying?
something wrong with them,
Okay,
but a lot of times there's things in other people
okay.
that are projected on you. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've heard, oh, I wish I could meet a nice guy. In the meantime, I've had women bypass me for, oh, here's a great example.
Okay, good.
I lived
hear
at home.
it.
I
Sounds
lived at
good.
home with my parents for a long time because I was on tour as a musician.
Right.
I was on tour as a speaker, flying. It was basically a shower, a bed, and awesome food. Awesome
Of course, it's your parents.
Yeah.
Of course.
And if I ever met a woman who I was interested in, and 99 out of 100 times they would hear that, and they would literally, I've had people walk away from me. So that is extremely
Interesting.
limited thinking, and you're only focused on the present moment. Because what if you are someone so incredible that now I say, hey, you know what? I have to get a place. Like, they didn't know. They just assumed, oh, he's a broke loser or whatever.
Right. Aww.
But they didn't know I could move out at any time,
Right.
anytime I wanted. But there was no need for it.
Right.
So
I
it was
understand.
that type of mindset where you're actually eliminating people for things that may not matter when you really dig deeper into it.
I like that.
Yeah, so it's funny. Even I've never been married, have no kids, and everyone who I've dated except my current girlfriend, their friends were like, "What's wrong with him?" I'm like, "Oh, so if I was divorced and had 3 kids, that would be a catch."
Right, exactly.
Right, because
Isn't that
they're so
crazy?
not used to somebody being normal.
Right.
They're
Instead, I
used to
waited.
right.
I just said, you know
You
what?
were selective.
I am not going to stay in a relationship that is this dysfunctional, crazy thing. And if someone is not going to be growth oriented and be reciprocal
Mm-hmm.
and have those qualities, I'm happy already. No one can make me happy. They can add tremendously to my happiness,
Right.
but only I can make me happy. So it's a matter of focus and I guess
And you do, and you
gratitude.
genuinely are a happy guy. I could tell when
Yeah.
I first met you.
Life is amazing,
been
man.
sm-
There's another great quote that says, I always laugh when people say life is hard because I say compared to what? Like, what is it hard? You don't know, is it hard compared to death? Like,
What?
but it doesn't matter. Yes, there are things that suck, right? We have
Right.
struggles in a relationship, sometimes
Yep.
financial struggles, but we're here. It's amazing, man. Every day is a miracle that we are able to wake up and do something. So
I love how positive this
Rob,
guy
what do
is.
we suggest to someone who's out there who maybe is dating someone who is not specifically what they're looking for? Do they stay in the relationship and wait, like wait it out? Do they end it? Like what kind of advice can you give?
You know
someone
what my
like
answer is going to be, right? What is
Dump
the point?
'em?
What's the point of staying in that relationship if it's not what you want? Because then what happens is someone's in that and they meet someone interesting and then they're in two, and it's not fair to all three people. Because
So you're saying if someone's watching the show and they're in a relationship with someone that they're like, he's not exactly what I want, just to be done with it.
well, it depends on what it is. Like when you write let's say you wrote a list of things, you have to write the main ones that are deal
Right.
breakers. Like I can never date a smoker. Not get involved with a married woman. None of
Yeah.
that. So if that comes out and you find out within a day or two, right?
Right.
Then I'm like, I'm done. I wouldn't even be in that. If there are things like that you could live with because there are some great qualities, you can accept that because there's good in everyone. There are things that'll start to bug you over time in everyone, right?
Right.
So it's a matter of what you're willing to accept. Because, all right, here's a great example. I saw a guest pastor in a church, and he said the most amazing thing that this is like probably 15, 20 years ago. Long day after
You
his
have
grandkids.
good memory then.
Well, it's things that stay with you. It was a long day after his grandkids were over, sits in the lazy boy recliner, looks, and there were toys everywhere in the living room. He's like, oh, what a mess. And it dawned on him, without the tremendous blessing of his grandkids, he wouldn't have the mess. So he'll take the mess. So that for me is big. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
can I overlook, the fact that whatever, let's say a guy leaves the toilet seat up, is that cool because
minor.
he holds the door for you?
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? It's really a matter of what is important and your perspective and perception.
I
And that's what
love
it comes
that.
down to. It is, because there's no one who's going to be absolutely perfect in every way, except my girlfriend.
That was good, Rob.
Good answer. We like
But-
it.
yeah.
Right.
But other than that,
That was a
sorry,
good one.
because she's taken.
He's a
I
smart
call
man.
her the last unicorn. I'm not even joking.
Oh, that's so
and her
good.
friends
I
call her
love
so yeah.
that.
Yeah, but not anymore because now she's gone. Gone unicorn. But even me, it took me a long time to get that relationship. But I said it's so worth it now because it is literally incredible.
What was it about her that made you say this was the one?
There's a lot of things. She's just
Okay.
dynamic, talented, brilliant, and she's hot and sexy, which helps. Because there does have to be
Oh,
an
that comes
attraction,
down to
which
it.
can
course.
segue into online dating.
Oh, good. That was my
Right.
next question.
Wait, we have to go to commercial.
That was my
And then
next
we wanna hear all
question.
about this.
How's that for a setup?
Yeah.
Darn it.
Ba-dum-bum.
We'll be back in a few minutes. We'll be back.
Stop the truck! Stop the truck! Thank you.
There's that big, shiny rocket ship. That's right, it's filled with babies. Babies of all kinds. And when the shiny rocket ship penetrates, mommy, dad goes, and when the time is just right, there's a space launch.
All systems go.
Babies of all kinds. Released all over the place. Yeah, Africa. Mommy's Babylandia. That's right, it's filled with babies. After an amazing 9 months, babies. And that, son, is where babies come from.
But Jake said babies come from
Planet Babylandia.
Play with us on the bus.
Wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. Wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town.
Dad.
get
I
one.
love
though.
Rob.
I didn't
we're
get
back.
Why didn't Rob get one? All right, we're back
one.
with Rob.
I didn't get the sponsored Tito.
I'm sorry about that. I'll
Yeah,
get.
that's
Where did
right.
we even get him
We're
water?
doing
That's
deep-
horrible.
We're doing
Yeah.
deep Eddie.
All right, sorry about that,
Of
Rob.
empty cups.
All right, we gave you nothing.
You get nothing. Okay.
I like
All right, so
dating.
we started off with online dating, which was you left off with that, and I actually wanted to ask you about that because a lot of my friends they complain. We do the online dating for a few months, and we go off, we go back on, blah blah. It's
Same
frustrating.
people,
You
you're like,
see
what
the
are you gonna
same
do?
people friggin' year after year. How do we stay hopeful in finding love when we're when we don't get anywhere when we're doing the online dating? We still see the same people. We're disappointed when we go on the dates.
Okay.
That's too good. There's a lot of questions in
speaking-
one.
Yeah, I'm gonna try
I'm
and
speaking
remember
on
one of
behalf
them.
of all the women that are doing the online dating and men.
Well, men have a similar challenge because
Do they, though?
Yeah, because what happens is you exhaust these opportunities. Online dating, I'm kind of on the fence about because A, you're window shopping. You're looking at a one-dimensional photo. If you like the photo, you'll read the profile.
Right.
So
Right.
it's all about looks, which I don't care how gorgeous you are. Over time, everyone fades. So you're stuck with the guts.
That's
But how do you
true.
get to know
I
the
like
guts
that.
unless you really get to talk to them? And when we go into a relationship, it's awesome because we create this vision of who they are, whether it's true or not, right? Based on our hope.
Yes.
Like it always amazes me when I meet someone and say, "Oh my God, I met this guy the other night. I could marry him." I'm like, "You're out of your mind."
Yeah, it's so weird.
I know. I'm like, and men will say the same thing. I'm like, "Oh my God, this is the one." 10 times. Well, so far you have 10. You're like, that's not legal, but good for you. You know, like, I don't understand because it's that hope
Yeah.
that unfortunately overshadows the logic and even what we really want. It's like all of a sudden, boom, we created this person. And then because we've created this, we don't want to say, I was wrong.
Right.
So you stay in these relationships sometimes that are not good for you. So with the online
we all
dating
do.
thing, it's okay if you can get to know someone and of course people put their real pictures up. That would help.
That would help. A
I've
lot
had
of
those
men
experiences.
say
Like
that.
recent pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have had that experience before. I'm like,
Yeah.
Wait, do you say anything, or are you just like, oh?
absolutely.
how nice?
I end those dates
You
right
do?
there. I'm like, you lied. One of my deal breakers.
You have the balls to do that?
Are you kidding? I have
Wow.
had so much fun on dates because I am so brutally honest.
Wow.
One woman's like, "Are you like Mr. Happy?" I go, "Yeah." And if that's the problem, I'll be happier when this date's over.
No!
Yeah, literally, almost verbatim. I
That's
guarantee.
great.
Yeah, because if you don't get my happiness, we're gonna
Why
have a
wouldn't
problem.
somebody want to be around somebody who's happy?
Because they're not.
That's strange.
Yeah, I've had the funniest things. Like I hold the door for people, which I hold the door for my brother when he's getting in my car. Right? This is just
Oh,
a habit.
I love that.
And I've had someone say, "Oh, how long is this going to last?" I'm like, "Not much longer."
Ah,
However, yeah, because you're bringing, what it is. We're like blaming other people for experiences we had with other people,
yep.
Right.
and we're taking it out on them.
That's very good.
Completely unfair. You have to literally try to get rid of that baggage. Matching baggage is good in case you want to travel, but not that when you bring it into a relationship and you're literally punishing someone for something they didn't even do.
So, Rob, that's
That's
a
true.
That's
That
a
is
great
true.
question because that is
That
something
is.
that is very common where a girl may in the past have someone that has cheated or she had bad relationships.
I've been there.
And then she's in a new relationship with a great guy and she's bringing that baggage. So, what do you suggest to her in terms of not sabotaging that new relationship? Like, what can she do?
You have to exhale. Because I'll tell you what I mean. You have to exhale
Yeah.
and really think that this is not that person and they deserve a chance, and I do as well. We both deserve a chance. Because it's funny, I could tell you an exact sequence of events. I'm often very busy and ignore my phone. My friends are trained to know they may not get an instant text back. In this world of instant gratification, I don't always do that. And I was a few years ago dating someone who was like, "Hey, just thinking about you, miss you." And I don't get it, or I'll look at it and not respond because I'm in the middle of something.
What? So,
Man.
Rob
Well,
sent that to you and you didn't respond?
But you wouldn't do that to the
Well,
girl
here's
now
what.
that you want to marry.
Yes, I have.
What?
Yeah, and she does the same thing because we both have lives aside from
Oh,
us. But here's
okay.
the point I'm getting at.
Okay, we want to hear the
Because
point.
it goes to this one. It says, "Hey, miss you," and then in big letters, capitals, "miss you." Now, that person's not telling me they miss me to tell me they miss me. They're
They
telling
want
me they miss me to get a reaction from me so they feel better.
See, that's why you
Oh,
can't
that's
date a coach.
interesting.
You can't date a coach because they're always going to one-up you.
No,
They're going to be like,
and
I'm on
that's-
to you. I know where you
That's
are.
why. So their
Interesting.
motive is entirely off. I tell my
Wow.
girlfriend I miss her because I miss her. I don't care if I don't hear from her.
I got
want
you,
her to know,
right.
"Hey, I'm thinking about you. I miss you."
Right.
It doesn't. I'm doing it to tell her.
You're not waiting
That's
for a
the-
reaction.
right, that's the way it should be.
For validation.
That's the way I would
really.
want it to
Exactly.
be.
Right.
Because that means your motive is off. You want to feel, "Oh, what? You don't miss me? What, are you too busy? Blah, blah." And then then
The whole
that
big fight.
craziness starts in, right?
Right,
You
because
know,
then they
it-
don't hear back from you. They know that you read the message too.
Right.
Sometimes on the iPhone you could see that
Oh,
it
yeah,
says
that's right,
red,
that's
and you're
right.
like that mother effer.
But sometimes I don't get
It's
it.
been an hour.
You don't
I know
miss
he
it.
read it.
What's going on?
But
Yeah.
sometimes I wouldn't get it, and I'll see 4. By the time I get it, I'm like, really?
But on some phones you could see that it says red, so they know that
Right.
you read it, but then you didn't respond.
But
so
it
then,
won't matter sometimes, which is when I think they're a little crazy. When I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm really busy. Like I've told you already,
Okay.
I can't
What?
respond immediately.
Well, the first
You know.
lesson is on your iPhone, don't have the read capability
Yeah,
where they can
'cause
see when
that's-
you read your text.
that's-
See, but
the
that
fir-
shouldn't
that's
be
the
true.
first thing.
It shouldn't be true. That is actually enabling the problem.
Do not have that on your iPhone.
Yeah,
Let me
because
just
it's
say
great
that.
to text and tell someone, like after a first date, man, I had an amazing time.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
I like that.
Yeah,
I wish
there
somebody
should
would
be
do
no
that.
like 1-2 day rule.
Right,
You're
exactly.
playing games already. It
Exactly.
should just be like, if that person can't accept you saying, I had a great time, and they are perceiving you as needy, they are reflecting on past relationships, and they're probably not the person for you.
Now, if that person did not have a great time, what's the best way to respond to that text?
Ah, that's a challenging one, because I'll tell you another date I had where literally on our first date, she's telling me, how come men can't tell you they don't want to see you anymore? They just stop calling. And I said, well, probably because bad things happen when you tell people the truth. And literally a week in, I was like, this girl's not for me. And I said, okay, I'm going to tell her. So I tell her, I think you're really cool. You know, we got along good, but I just don't see it long term. And she went off on me. And I said, this is why we don't tell you.
Oh,
Literally.
wow.
So you can't ask for that and then not want the answer. And we're still good friends to this day, which is cool.
No
But
way.
It was just not that, it was just not that,
Did you
With
give
the
her some
relationship.
dating advice on how not to handle her next date?
probably with that one, yeah.
Okay.
She was also the one that said, how long is it going to last holding the door?
What? the
And she's
hell?
awesome. She's actually a great person.
Does she have a boyfriend?
Currently, I'm unsure. Yeah.
I'm unsure.
Yeah. Well, you know, I can't keep tabs on everyone. I have a
Maybe
lot
you
of
should give us some more
friends
advice.
that- Yes. Maybe.
What are the signs that we could look for that a guy is truly into us so we don't waste our time?
Do you really think you wouldn't know?
I don't know. Because sometimes they're telling you one thing, but obviously you don't want to say anything too early. You don't want to be you don't want to sound like you're overly eager, like trying to rush things along.
it
It's in the
depends on
beginning
what.
stages.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. You need to monitor their action. People could say whatever they
Okay.
want. It doesn't matter. If someone says, yeah, I can't wait to see you again, and then never schedules another date,
Right.
you probably have a problem.
Or you don't want to be saying to them, oh, I'm looking to find the person I'm going to marry and have kids with. Like, you don't want to say
I
that
think-
too
I
early
think
on
you don't
in the
have
beginning.
to say that because I think that should be a general assumption.
Okay.
And can be brought up when things are moving along because that is probably the number one that scares guys.
Right.
Like
that's-
literally first date, you don't. So do you want to have kids?
Right.
Like you mean
Are you
right here on the
looking for your
table? I mean, I don't know. Like probably not appropriate on a first date in a restaurant. But you know, so what?
I'll take it,
why
Tito.
bring
And
it
do you
up?
want to have kids?
Yes,
you want
right.
twins?
Yeah.
What do you
Take
want?
Tito's and a little Tito.
Well, the other
I'll
problem.
take a Tito's and
here's the other thing.
triplets.
This
What
is
do you
what's
want?
interesting. People would always ask me, "Don't you want to have kids?" I said, "If I find a wife, I will ask her." Because I'm not going.
Oh,
to,
that was a great
well,
response.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of people say, "I want 2 kids. I'm going to name them like Bucky and whatever."
That's a
Bunny.
terrible name.
And it's like, well, does the spouse matter at the time?
Right.
So what if I meet the woman of my dreams and she doesn't want to have kids? Then I'm probably okay with that because this is the most amazing woman. What if she does and I don't? Then I need to consider: is that something I'm willing to do? Probably. So it's something that you shouldn't really bring up until it's ready. But you should also have a little bit of understanding in what is your scope. If it's a
Okay.
deal breaker that you want to have kids, yeah, you need to find out when things are getting serious, not right off the bat.
Why do so many men, though, hang out with you for a little bit and then they just disappear? Like, why does that? But they're telling you they like you. They're saying all these. This is the common thing I always hear from all my single friends.
There could be a lot of
They're
reasons.
like, everything was great for the first
there could
couple
be a
of
lot of
weeks.
reasons because only you think it's great.
Right.
A, or they could be married and idiots, and you're just a thing on the side, which is the thing I can't stand because
Yep.
it's just whatever.
Right.
We're not going to go there because they need
Well,
they,
we
need,
could go
they
there.
need a lot of coaching.
Ah, God. And you don't have time for that.
But it could be. It also could be what we were talking about earlier. Is you created that it was great.
Okay.
Because sometimes we could look back and go, it wasn't really that great. You know what? Here's a great way to get to know people is drive in the car with them. See how they react when they're driving. You'll know if people are patient, kind.
Oh, when you're the driver.
I
when,
like
when
that.
they're the driver.
Oh,
I
when
love
they're the-
sitting in a car next to someone. I'm like,
Watching
whoa.
somebody.
I was like, this guy's a maniac, man. Because it is. It's like, do they allow people to get in front of them? Are they cursing, screaming? Are they driving aggressively? They're going to be like that with you.
That's
And then
great.
also
Oh,
watch
wow.
how
Hey,
they
that
treat-
was the best advice
well,
we've
yeah,
ever gotten
and then
on
watch
this
how
show.
they treat other people because
Okay.
eventually, like I remember dating this girl where she lied to everybody, her
No.
boss, her ex-husband, her kids, and I'm like, she's lying to me. I'm not that dumb and I'm not that great that I'm going to
Well,
be
that
the
was
only
good that you
person that's not
picked
being
up on
lied to.
that.
Well, yeah, I'm like, eventually she has to lie to me. I'm like, whoa, not cool. But we don't want to think that. We're like, oh yeah, no, they don't lie to me. They won't cheat on me. Yeah, they will.
Or if you're out at a restaurant and someone's rude to the waitress
Oh, I don't
or
like
waiter,
that.
yeah.
I think that's so hard.
Bingo.
That's very telling.
Behavior, it's all behavior, and that means it's going to eventually, when you're not on guard
Come
and
down
on
to
your,
you.
know, your Boy
Right.
Scout behavior, it's going to come out. So you want to make sure you
That's
can
good
monitor, which
advice.
people don't. They're just because you're all, listen. Every time we get in a new relationship, it's like, oh, it's totally exciting,
Right.
And we ignore everything that
That's very
should
true.
matter. And how many people do you know look back and say, oh yeah, I should have known because
Yep.
this, because of that. Yeah, but we didn't want to
But
know.
we didn't want, yeah.
Because we want that relationship so badly, which
Yep.
isn't a bad thing. We're brought up in relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our mother nurtures us, or family, and then everyone's in relationships.
Right.
So it's almost the worst thing ever to be single. Like, I was always the single guy at, like, all family weddings.
Really?
Yeah. Like, so often I would not have a date. Now I love it that I would date all the time. But yeah, I would be like the guy that shows up because I'm like, I'm not going to bring, like, the rent a date. Like, one of my friends were like, oh, I got to meet a girl because I have a wedding, and then he's going to dump her. So he's one of those guys. Who now is in a great relationship, oddly enough. So there's probably a certain aspect of, dare I say, maturity when you start. Because when, like I said, when I was like 25, man, I was an idiot, man.
But
I
did
wanted
you
to be a
ever
rock
get
star and-
worried as you got older that you weren't going to find the person, or you always remained positive that it was going to happen? For the
Literally,
people out there that are losing hope,
literally, I decided that I'm probably never getting married
you did.
until her. Yeah,
Interesting.
and I was happy with that. I was like, you know
Okay.
what?
And that's probably why you met
I have
her,
a great,
'cause you
well, absolutely,
up
because
resistance.
there was no pressure, no
Uh-huh.
anxiousness. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bible says, "Be anxious for nothing." You can be eager but not anxious. Anxious is like, I guess coming from derivative of anxiety, right? Anxious.
Yeah.
So I think it was important to just meet someone natural. Like when you're trying on an online dating thing, you're like trying
Yes.
too hard. It's not like getting a job and other things where you need to go out put resumes.
Right.
Some things that are better to allow them to naturally happen.
So you think online dating people shouldn't even be doing it? They shouldn't be so focused on it. Don't be so obsessive about it. Just
Well, you
focus
can
on
meet
your
people
own
anywhere.
life, and then
Yes. No,
Let it
focus on
happen.
you and your growth. That's the whole thing, really, because again, we get taught these terrible things. Like I was a really skinny kid with glasses. I got bullied. And
I can't believe you were
Do
bullied.
you wear
Yes.
contacts?
Yes, or I'd be blind.
You're a
Although
very
now I'm
handsome
fine,
guy.
and you know what's interesting? Thank you. That's so amazing of you. Because I was so self-conscious up until literally this woman that I'm dating about ever being seen with my glasses in public. Because I would be very athletic, have tape in them like the movie Nerds. Literally, I was called Four Eyes,
Bastards.
Poindexter, by people, one person in my family. Like,
No.
yeah. So it's things like that that make you have a low self-esteem, and it affects everything in your life.
Yep.
So when you work on you and start to say, hey, you know what? I'm awesome, because you are. Everyone in here is in their own way. But we compare ourselves to people who we shouldn't. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to compare myself to someone who's destined to be a football player. And I
Right.
always loved football, but it wasn't for me. But I'm going to be like, oh, I wish I could. No, it's
Right.
just self-defeating. But you know what? I could do other stuff, right? Like I can come here and coach, hopefully.
You're a drummer.
Yeah, I could do music, and
Yeah.
people will be like, "Oh man, I wish I could." You could if you really, really want to. Like John Maxwell. You guys probably know John Maxwell.
Yes.
Great author, leader, right? He said he hates when people say you could do whatever you want if you want to badly enough, because he said, I can't be a ballerina. So if you've seen John, he's a kind of paunchy guy and 5'10". But the point is that I reflect on is he wouldn't want to be a ballerina. But what he is passionate about, he can accomplish, and he did. So it's things like that. You don't say something, yeah, okay, you can do whatever you want. Yes, you can. Muggsy Bogues, 5'4", professional.
I loved him.
basketball
He was
player.
my favorite.
Yeah.
He was
when
my
I speak
favorite.
in schools for like to graduating classes, or like, some kids, and I bring that up all the time because there's always someone
Yeah.
says I want to be a basketball player.
Yeah.
One room they laughed at him. I said, you're gonna love what's gonna be in one of my slides.
And they
it's
don't
him.
know about him? Well, I guess they're too young. They don't
Some
know.
will
Right.
if they know their history, but most today won't.
Right.
But yeah, 5'4" or something, and
And
he
he was
wasn't
amazing.
just a novelty.
No.
He was a
I
pretty
know.
badass.
He was my favorite.
Yeah. So it's proof that was his vision. Do you think a lot of people told him it won't happen?
Right.
So do you think a lot of
So-
people tell us you'll never find the right guy? That means they won't. Doesn't mean you won't.
So you just touched upon something. So people have limited beliefs. How do we get through the limited beliefs? 'Cause I know
those
you're.
tough walls to
Chrissy
block.
loves
How much time
limiting
do you have?
beliefs.
Listen, I love to ask every guest, and we asked Bob Doyle from The Secret. He wanted
Okay,
to kill
so
me.
what I would say is, where did you learn the limiting beliefs? And I'll give you an example.
Okay.
We're born with only 2 fears according to psychology.
Oh.
If you're not familiar with it, it's a fear of falling and a fear of loud noises.
I didn't know those
Every
were the
other
only two
fear we've
fears.
learned,
Okay.
so you can unlearn it. So limiting beliefs you've learned. Because when you're a kid, what is it like? Oh, I want to be president. I want to be a cowboy.
Right.
And everyone's like, awesome. And you get older and say, hey, you know what? I want to start my own company. Why do you want to do that? Right? Or you know what? I want to move to Europe and meet, the man of my dreams. Why do you want to do that? It's very interesting how as a kid there is no limits.
I know.
Why? What's the difference? It's what we've learned by our own mistakes, by following other people's advice. How often have you had your gut say, I don't feel like this guy's right, but you go out with him anyway?
Yeah.
Why?
course.
You need to, that gut is the most important thing. When it's
Okay.
not clouded in prior bad experiences and emotion.
Or most
It's
people
the little-
don't know how to listen to it. They're not sure what it is. Is it just their own self saying, oh, maybe I shouldn't go? People
Yeah.
aren't, in tune to that. So they don't know. Is that my intuition telling me not to go?
The only way to
or
know
is
it is almost sometimes after you act on it or don't,
Right.
unfortunately. But you should start to get very in tune with yourself over time. It's almost like sharpening a tool.
Right.
Like I know always, I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that gig. Or I will do that gig. When I get, like, I
Okay.
just got hired to officiate a wedding, which is going to be really cool.
Oh, that's
Because they're
this is
already married. They're
interesting.
already married, yeah.
Wow.
So I don't need a license, and they wanted like a Tony Robbins. And
I love Tony.
I was like, I don't know if I should do this gig, and it was the wrong gut. And what I did was I stopped for a minute, and I envisioned it, and then I decided to see how I felt envisioning me doing it, and it was like, oh my God, I'm going to be able to impact somebody's wedding, the biggest day of their life, when they do the ceremony. I'm like, that's awesome. I'm doing it. So when you
Doing
start
it.
to think about, okay, there was a great book I think by Jack Welch's wife, Susie Welch. She wrote. It was called 10-10-10.
Okay.
It's how will this decision affect you in 10 minutes, like let's say 10 months and 10 years.
I like that.
But we never looked that far. It's like, okay, I want to go on a date now.
Right.
I need to get married. Right.
Right, no, that's true.
Instead of thinking, okay, how will this affect that? How will this person affect my children when I have them with him? That's huge too.
That's true.
Do I
That's
want this
good.
person to be the father of my kids or the mother of my kids, based on their behavior? And, it's really just paying attention. Do they complain about everything? Are they accountable for
Are
their
they
own actions?
complainers?
Yeah. Blamers, complainers, and remainers?
Blamers,
Or are
complainers.
they sustainers? That's the way I look at it. Really, because, you want, it depends on the type of person. Like that person I told you about who said, are you always Mr. Happy? We're probably not compatible, right? So that's why I was like, see ya.
Do you think there's a way? Are you familiar with getting into alignment? Because that's another one of my favorite questions.
Yeah.
So, how do we cut through the limited beliefs and get into alignment with what we want and manifest it quickly?
She's
Well,
saying,
it may not be
her
quickly.
question is, how do I find my soulmate? That's what she's trying to
Yeah,
say.
Correct.
that's real. Okay.
Or create whatever you're looking to create in your life,
Okay.
whether it be a dream job, a soulmate, whatever you're looking to do.
This will be the simplest thing, and I alluded to it earlier.
Okay.
Define exactly what you want.
Okay,
And then define the person that would match that person and become that.
become
Like
that.
I said, I had to be a prince to get a princess.
That
literally,
was good.
yeah.
I like that.
So
What if you feel
otherwise
like
it
you
wouldn't
are
work.
a great person and you're still not attracting the right person?
So I think you need to adjust really either your tolerance level
Mm-hmm.
or your acceptance
Mm.
of when people don't line up. Like, do you have exactly what you want? The real deal breakers and things like looks, personality.
Yes.
Written
nurturing.
down?
You,
Yes.
Yes.
You have it all.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you meet
Eric
someone,
Decker.
he's married, right?
Yes.
He
I'm
is,
sorry.
and she's
Okay,
Yeah.
so see, that's a
beautiful.
problem. It's a
Yeah.
deal breaker.
All right, but I'm
but-
saying physically looking, yes.
Okay, so that's a good
Yeah.
thing. So, but again, why was your first thing physical looking?
Why was it first?
Yeah. You realize that you said that first. You didn't.
I don't
say,
know.
What's the first thing I said about my girlfriend?
Calves.
No, no.
Did you?
When you actually asked.
Oh, I remember about
when you
yours
actually,
calves
when you actually
now.
asked what she
You
was like, I
said
said
calves and
dynamic,
legs.
talented.
Oh,
brilliant.
dynamic. I'm
And
sorry,
then the
yeah.
last thing I said was, and she's kind of sexy and hot.
That's true.
However, so there's
That's
something.
true.
So you may be going after this guy who you're all like, whoa,
You're right.
he's cute. And then.
You
but
sound
that's
like my
all-
sister now. That's what she says
Interesting.
to
I
me.
didn't know she had a masculine voice, but okay.
No, but she always says that. Maybe not go for the physical so much.
Well, no, you can because there has to be an attraction.
Right.
You
Thank
never-
you.
Like no
Thanks,
one
Rob.
should lie about that.
Right.
You have to be attracted to
Right.
someone. But that's not going to sustain it, without a doubt. So
No, I want a
once-
kind soul.
Well,
And
once
she
you
always
find it-
laughs at me when I say that. But I want a kind soul.
And how do you get to know a kind soul?
I don't know. I haven't
by
found
taking
one yet.
time. You got to take time to get to know them instead of thinking this is it and getting all that gushy feeling, because that happens, when
Right.
you're like, and again we're like blinded idiots.
That's
And
true.
I've been there, man. It takes a long time to overcome that and grow and realize, okay, I need to take a step back and say, yeah, she's hot, but who
Right.
cares? Because I need her to be cool.
And even if you're
Right.
lonely and you're like, all right, I like spending time with this person, if they're still not showing you
The
or they're-
behaviors
right.
that you want.
Well, I'm
Then
going to
you
share
should-
this. How can you be lonely when you have the entire universe with you?
Now I love that as well.
and
now
you have
how
an
do we?
amazing
Right?
life.
All right, well,
I
explain
mean,
that a
you
little bit
literally-
more
You have the
quickly.
entire.
We got 20 seconds.
You have 20
You have
seconds.
everything.
Come on.
All right, so here's the thing. I'll give you one huge tip. Keep
What?
learning and keep applying, number one.
Can you come back next Wednesday?
I probably can, actually. But
Great.
I'd have to check my schedule.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I'll
my
text you
girlfriend's
at 2
British.
a.m.
She has the accent.
We'll bring her to the next show.
But yeah, but that's the whole thing is you literally, how can you be lonely when there's people that love you, people that care, and on downtime, just do things you enjoy. Don't be afraid to go.
Get a
and
life. It's called
be
Get a
bold,
Life.
Yeah. Or be bold, man. What does it say? Fortune
I love that
favors
he
the
calls
bold.
us man.
That's the way I talk.
It's all right. I
All
like
right,
that.
dudes,
I've had
it's
issues.
selfie
I like that,
time.
Selfie time. Oh, where's
I've
my,
been with people that call me
Are we
man
standing
on
up for
dates.
this?
That's right. We're going to
I have
stand
my
up for
I have my
this.
tie. Well, this is so cool. A selfie stick.
I
I
love
like
Rob.
it.
Rob, you're the
That's cool.
happiest
Am I
person
getting
I've
it
ever
wrong?
met.
Our camera's
Really?
a little
Okay,
off.
cool.
Yeah,
but
I love you.
that's okay. You can
That's
see
okay.
our lower portion of our dresses.
This is where the height comes challenging. Is this supposed to be? Oh,
Get
sorry.
his hair in.
Get my hair in. This is too cool. Oh, you're taking like 1,000 pictures. There better be one good one.
We're pros.
I hope there's a good one.
Rob.
Dang, that's
Are we
awesome.
over?
Guys,
Bye.
thank you so much.
Look up Rob Liano. Wait, where do they find you?
Oh, just Rob Liano, like piano with an L on the internet. You'll find my blog.
And go on
My
Facebook. He's
website.
on
My
Facebook.
website is under construction for a new and improved version. So yeah,
Thank you, Rob. We love you.
See you
You're
next
awesome.
week.
that was awesome.
You're amazing.